Alright, this is going to be a video of this 52-inch Canarm brand hugger ceiling fan that I got at my local Habitat Restore. I got it because I'm actually a volunteer there, and for those who don't know, what I do for them is refurbish ceiling fans received by the nation and make them more sellable and run better than how they previously came in. Now, you might notice that it's not hanging on the usual testing mount that I use to make videos. That is because that recently broke. So I installed a fan-rated electrical box in the ceiling here, ran some Romex cable, and this is pretty much going to be my permanent fan testing area for the moment that you'll see in a lot of my new videos. So, without any further ado here, I'm actually going to demonstrate the fan and begin with the light kit. As you can see, this is functioning, and I'm using 4 60-watt equivalent energy-saving compact fluorescent bulbs in there. Now you might notice that when I pulled the chain, just 2 lights came on. This is because it actually has a 3-way pull chain. So if you pull it once, just 2 lights come on. Pull it a second time, other 2 come on. Third time, all 4. And 4th time, they all shut off. Now for the fan itself, beginning with the high speed. And judging by the white piece of tape I put on one of the blade brackets, I'd say this is probably going to spin at around maybe 210 to 215 RPM on high. It actually does push a fairly decent amount of air, especially after I pitch the blades more to increase performance. When it first turns on, it really takes a little bit of time to speed up to full speed. I'm guessing this might be due to a weak capacitor, however I'm not 100% sure. It might just be the way the motor was built. Next, for medium. This is going to slow down to about 155 to around 160 RPM. It's actually a pretty quiet fan when it runs. There's a very slight bearing noise on medium and high, but other than that, it's virtually silent. And last but not least, the low speed, which I'll show the fan light on running at the same time here. And this is probably going to go at around maybe 65 to 70 RPM. It's actually a slightly faster low speed than I was expecting. Generally fans of this age go a little bit slower. Anyway, I'll turn it off now. And I want to discuss some general information about the fan itself. As it slows down here, you'll notice that it has Casablanca style blade brackets. This was usually a typical feature of mid to late 80s Canarm fans. However, this one is actually dated in 1990, so it would have been one of the last years of production that the fans would have used these style of blade brackets before switching to more generic ones. The fan is actually manufactured by TAT, as a lot of 80s Canarms were. Again, this would have been towards the end of the TAT manufacturing era for Canarm. Now, the light kit you see on here is not original. Previously, it actually did not come with a light kit installed, but I decided to add this one because I think it adds a nice touch of elegance and functionality to the fan. Just a personal thing, I guess, but generally at the Restore, fans sell faster with light kits anyway. And last but not least, I'm going to be talking about the fan's pros and cons, and what I would rank it out of 5 stars, beginning with the pros. Overall, it is pretty versatile because it could accept virtually any universal light kit, as shown here. And also, it has 5 reversible blades. One side is just plain oak, which is currently facing down, and the other side is cane, which I'll show here. You can see, here's the cane side. And I think the cane looks a little bit cheap on it, in my opinion. I'm just using the plain oak. I think it's just the most classy, in my opinion, as it's just vinyl cane, which, you know, to be perfectly honest, is just kind of cheap and typical. Another thing I really like is the blade brackets, as, again, this is kind of an uncommon variation of this Hugger fan, as you usually find these with more generic brackets. And overall, it's also a fairly decent quality fan. Uses a large 188 by 18 motor in it, which pushes the blades pretty fast, I guess. Blows a decent amount of air, and the metal parts seem to be fairly solid as well. What I don't like, however, is the motor housing is a little bit small. I suspect that the older 80s versions would have used a slightly larger housing, as that probably would have looked more proportionate with the blades and brackets as opposed to the smaller, cheaper one. I guess that's really my only minor thing to complain about. So overall, I'd probably have to give the fan 3.5 out of 5 stars. Good basic fan, performs fairly well, and I guess it's just one of those things you can rely on without having to worry about, as it does have a fairly solid motor in it. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoy the video, and there's lots more to come.